everybody, welcome to another episode of Bubblegum Reviews. My name is Steve, and tonight's review will be on the movie here next to me. We have There Will Be Blood. This is probably a second or third time, I want to say a second time watch for me. In this, we have Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano. So, a little quick summary into this is Daniel and his son are independent oil men who go buy people's property, pennies on the dollar, to pump for oil and make tons of money. So he's technically a con oilman. Anyways, and somebody becomes the wiser of what he's doing, only to try to call him on it, and chaos ensues, I guess you could say. So, first thing first about this movie is Daniel Day-Lewis did a fantastic job. Paul Dano did a good job, even though there's a few parts in it where I'm just like, I can't watch this. One of them being the part where he gets just beat. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to throw any spoilers out there. So, the movie itself. This movie is actually a really solid movie. The only part for me that I will say that's hard to... It has a hard time actually keeping me, like, really sucked into this movie, because it's like, okay, the acting is good, the movie itself is good, I get where they're going with it, but it was almost like, man, is my laundry done yet? There was just parts where it was just like I almost wanted to go do something else, because it was like, okay, it's just kind of rolling on. Nothing like actually sucked me into this film. The suspenseful soundtrack, good. The shooting location, I think this is shot in Texas, was good as well. The movie is a good movie, but it's not a great movie. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the fight scene between Eli and Daniel, where they're outside and he keeps slapping him. I'm like, dude, what is with this fight? That was the most funny fight, but also annoying fight I've ever seen, because he just kept slapping him, and it was like, what? And then they did it again. And, oh, man, the ending was nuts. Honestly, it wasn't the ending I had hoped for, just because I wanted Eli to get in trouble of some sort, and he didn't, and it just ended. So it was like, well, but overall, man, the movie was good. Daniel Day-Lewis is a fantastic actor, because this was crazy. Oh man, this movie was like the picture you see right here of the oil that's like going up. I think that's the scene where HW gets thrown back and then he loses his hearing because of that whole scene. That part was crazy. Anyways, the movie itself, like I said, it's a good movie, but this is definitely a movie that after watching it this time, I'm not going to watch this again. I'll tell you it's a good movie and give it a watch, but I'm not going to be like, oh man, this is one you definitely want or anything like that, because for me, it's not. Director in this, we have Paul Thomas Anderson, who also did the movie Boogie Nights, which I have not seen that, but I've obviously heard of it. IMDb gave this an 8.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 91%. Bubblegum Reviews gave this a 7.5 out of 10. My main thing to say about this would be that Daniel Day-Lewis was fantastic in this movie. I still do believe, out of the movies of his that I have seen, Last of the Mohicans is still my number one. And no, I have not seen Gangs in New York, just so you all are aware. Box office, 77.19 mil on a budget of 25, so it made 52.19. Not great money. Oh yeah, and the one thing I did forget to mention, this movie came out in 2007. You know another movie that came out in 2007 that totally made this movie just kind of fall off into the shadows? Was No Country for Old Men. To me, that was the best movie that came out that year. Hands down, I'm sure everybody would say the same thing. That movie was definitely better than this movie. So this movie kind of fell in the cracks, and most people were just like, oh, yeah, and for reasons, yes, certainly. But this is still a good movie. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think I saw no. I'm pretty sure I saw No Country for Old Men in theaters. This I did not. Reasons why is what it is. Like No Country for Old Men, honestly blows this movie out of the water. And I'm not. Yeah, I like the movie's amazing, but we're not talking about that movie. Anyways, this movie was the winner of 2 Oscars, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I totally understand why, because this, like I said, the acting in this was good. Even though, there, like I said, there was a few parts by Paul Dano where I was just like, oh gosh, are we hamming this up or what? My interesting fact in this movie is HW is actually not even an actor. It was a kid that was at a school in, I think, West Texas, and they found him, and the director literally told and tried to persuade his mother to be able to star in the film. She ended up watching Gangs in New York with Daniel Day-Lewis and kind of got worried about who her son was working with. And then I guess the director recommended watching The Age of Innocence, and then she kind of saw that he was a better person in that. And to me, it's like, what are you watching a film to determine if this person's good to work for or not? That alone doesn't even make any sense. Like, you literally, what? Oh my God, he's a bad person in Gangs in New York, so I don't want my son working around that. What? He's acting. Anyways, I'm not even going to get into that. That doesn't even make sense whatsoever. Why don't you actually try to meet Daniel Day-Lewis and like be like, yeah, can we set up a talk so I can meet the guy in person instead of looking at a film? Huh? I don't know. Whatever. Good movie. Give it a shot if you have not seen this. Yes. Anyways, that's it for that. My next movie up will be, I've already started watching it. This here, we got Behind Enemy Lines. And real quick, so we got Gene Hackman and Owen Wilson. Why does this not look like Owen Wilson? When I look at this, I literally think that's Luke Wilson, not Owen, right there. Just based off of that picture. That looks more like Luke than Owen. So I was like, wait a minute. Is Luke or Owen in this? But it's Owen Wilson. But anyways, that's it. You guys have a good night. Like and subscribe. Check out my Letterboxd. Check out my eBay. You guys have a good night. Bubblegum out. See you guys next time.